Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got a horror action film from 2004, and this is Van Helsing, directed and written by Steven Sommers, starring Hugh Jackman as Monster Hunter Van Helsing and Kate Beckinsale as Anna Valerius. And this one is an homage tribute to the Universal horror films from the 1930s and 40s, which are also produced by Universal Pictures. And this one has a number of the monsters, such as there's a Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, werewolves, similar to the old movies in the 40s, which were like Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, and House of Dracula. Yeah, and so I enjoyed this movie. I've seen it multiple times. I really enjoyed watching this film over and over again. I know it didn't really do much at the box office, and it's not really considered to be a success, but it just gave me a lot of enjoyment. I really do enjoy this film. So we see Dr. Victor Frankenstein in 1887 creating successfully his monster, which also people call Frankenstein, aided by his assistant Igor and Count Dracula, who is the one who's commissioned the creation of of Frankenstein monster. However, when he realizes that Dracula's designs for the creature is not what he wanted, he tries to escape, tries to go away with, he refused to go along. He is killed, and unfortunately, there's a huge mob that's outside the castle. They're trying to break in, and they do break in, and the monster awakens. He's saddened by the death of his father, Dr. Frankenstein, so he lifts the body and he flees away to a windmill. He basically pushes Dracula into the fireplace, but he of course escapes. Igor also escapes, and the mob is led to the windmill where the Frankenstein monster goes with his father, so to say. They burn the windmill down, seemingly killed him, but of course, as we know, he didn't die. And about a year later, we see Gabriel Van Helsing, who's a monster hunter, played by Jackman, traveling to the Notre Dame de Paris and kills Dr. Jekyll. He didn't actually mean to kill him, but in the tussle that they have, he actually kills him. And then he goes back he works for the Knights of the Holy Order, and they ask him, their mission is basically protect mankind from all kinds of monsters. And they have roped in Van Helsing, who's lost his memory. So they tell him that, they found him basically near death, and he doesn't remember his past. So just that they call him Gabriel Van Helsing, and he knows that he's got some sins which he needs to atone for. How do he knows that? No idea. But he wants to regain his memory, so he's doing this to killing monsters, saving people, so that he can be forgiven or pardoned. From whom? Because they don't really actually mention God and Jesus and all that stuff. Anyway, but it's still a religious thing. So he goes to Transylvania, and he has to protect Anna and Velkan Valerius, the last of an ancient Romanian family, because their ancestor vowed that all his descendants would not enter heaven. They would stay in eternity in purgatory until Dracula is killed. So they're the last of it. So if they don't kill him, yeah, they're all going to be condemned to live in purgatory. Strange that a man can actually decide that. Anyway, he meets with Anna and Velkan. They actually see that they are actually trying to kill a werewolf, which is controlled by Dracula, but it bites Velkan and they fall into the river. They think he's died, but he gets infected by the bite of the vampire. Van Helsing and his companion Friar Carl, played by I think it's David Wenham, who's the comedy source of the movie. They actually, like I said, Kate Beckinsale plays Anna Valerius. Richard Roxburgh plays a fantastic Count Dracula. I have seen him in just a couple of films, but I really liked him as Dracula over here. David Wenham plays Carl, who's a friar of the Holy Order. And Kevin J. O'Connor plays Igor. Will Kemp plays Velkin Valerius. Uh, Samuel West plays Victor Frankenstein. Uh, who plays? Uh, who I don't know. I can't remember who plays the. Anyway, it's fine. He goes with Carl to the village, and he finds a hostile crowd waiting for him over there. They don't want him. They don't like strangers. However, while he's trying to convince them, the sun is hidden by the clouds, and up comes Dracula's three brides. What are the names? Um, um, yeah, Alira, Verona, and Mariska, played by, respectively, Alina, Anaya, Sylvia Kolaka, I think that's how you pronounce the name, and Josie Moran. Uh, I have never wanted to be bitten more by a vampire or three vampires when I saw this movie. That's all I will say. Anyway, so yeah, he manages to kill one of them. I think he kills Alira, and then in the tussle that happens, and the other two go back to Dracula, and they cry to him. They cry when one of them is killed. So it's now up to Dracula along with Anna to find ways to kill Dracula. They need to find his castle because it's actually hidden. And apparently, what they want to do is um, his basic plans are to use a conduit, Velkin, basically, to create his offspring, to create his and the three brides' offsprings, have them come to life, and they'll be pure vampires. They're not humans converted into vampires. They'll be pure vampire kind of thing. But to be honest, in the movie they look really odd. So that's what they want to do, and they also want to use Frankenstein because they think that Frankenstein's monster is dead. However, he is alive, and he joins forces with Van Helsing and Anna, and unfortunately, Velkin tries to warn Anna that he's been converted into a vampire. However, she he turns in front of them, and then he is hunted by them as well. So finally, it's up to them to fight off these monsters, kill the vampires, and make sure that the offsprings don't come to life, and don't kill all the people around. But that's what they want to do. So yeah, unfortunately, Van Helsing is also bitten by by Velkin, who turned into a werewolf, and now he's about to turn. So there's that fear as well. And apparently, Dracula knows him for a while. He just calls him Gabriel, Gabriel, and then he sees they have a long history. And apparently, he says if he lets Dracula go, he will let him regain his memory. He will help him to regain his memory. But Van Helsing decides no. He turns into a werewolf, and they have a big fight. There's a lot of fights in this movie. Pretty good, and unfortunately, he kills Anna by mistake as a werewolf, and just as she dies, she injects the cure for werewolf into him, and he is rescued from from a life of being a werewolf, unfortunately. But Anna is dead. Both he and Carl are very sad, and they gave her a cremation, with all the brides and vampires all dead. Dracula having dead, all the offsprings automatically die off, killing all of them. But he does see, as the funeral pyre reaches up, he sees Anna and her brother and her father. They're all having a reunited in heaven. They see their spirits. They are going off to heaven. It gives them a little bit of happiness. And then he and Carl rides off back to sunset for more adventures, I guess, I suppose. So, yeah, fun film. I really like the transformation of vampires sorry, werewolves is really fun because it's very different from what you see. I know the CGI doesn't really stand up right now, but you see a lot of the cut transformation. You actually see him ripping his skin, and then underneath is the fur and all that stuff. And then same when they actually turn back, it looks like the skin is being ripped out, and then the hair falls off. That's really weird, but I do like it. I do enjoy this movie quite a bit. The movie was made on a budget of roughly 170 million, and it only made 300.2 million at the box office. There was a video game along with this for PlayStation 2, Xbox, Game Boy. Yeah, critical reception was mainly negative. I don't know. I still enjoy the movie quite a. Excuse me. But it's a lot of fun. It's silly, but it's also a lot of fun. There is a plan for a reboot, but nothing has ever actually happened. So maybe they might actually do another reboot sometime soon. Anyway, I give this movie an 8 out of 10 because I enjoyed it quite a lot. Thank you. Have a good night.